Hello, everybody. So yes, I am introing a video uh, that I'm just going to be talking to you in, and that is because I forgot to actually mention in the video, and apologize as to why this video is a little bit late. So after I had uploaded my last video, where I had made this whole plan about how I'm going to take a small break and then upload a video talking about me for like 2 weeks from that point. Um, I ran into an issue um, about 2 days after that video came out. I had already had some of my wisdom teeth coming in. My top two were already fully in and didn't cause me any issues. So I obviously didn't exactly feel the need to extract them. Um, but this time was a little bit different when both of my bottoms were starting to come in. I was in a lot of pain. Um, Probably the most pain I think I've ever been in. Not the most, but it's definitely up there. The most pain I've been in recent times. And it had gotten so bad that it was hard to swallow. I couldn't eat. I couldn't speak, and even just recording this, my jaw still hurts. But I'm at least at a point where I can talk and I can eat normal food, and I had to get an emergency extraction of all four of my wisdom teeth. Now, the experience was great. It took me like half a second and I was gone. I don't remember the day it happened at all, except for me asking. I like blinked into consciousness for like half a second, asking the nurse how her day went. Um, which I guess was odd because she seemed very confused as to why I asked her. And then I passed back out again, and I woke up and it was just I had to drink I had to drink my food, and I couldn't speak very well. So yeah, I had to kind of recover from that before I'm able to actually record this. But I'm officially at a point where I can talk. Um Again, even just recording for the last 30 minutes to an hour has been really hard because my jaw is still recovering from the surgery. Specifically, like my back jaw, where it like hinges open, uh, is still in a lot of pain when I talk a lot. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to a point where we can talk more and eat. I can actually eat. Oh my god, I had my first meal like 2 days ago, and it was Waffle House, and I'm so glad that my partner and I picked Waffle House. Um, but yeah, no, that's the intro to this video. I figured I ought to explain that a little bit because I totally forgot to in the video itself. But yeah, no. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like, and if you find yourself coming back on the regular, hit smack that fucking subscribe button because oh lord. But yeah, no. I'll see you guys in like half a second. Hello, everybody. My name is Minx, and as you could tell, things look a little bit different. This video format is a little bit different. I didn't do my cheesy little intro like I normally do. Um, and that's because I wanted to sit down with you guys and have a small talk about kind of what I want my content to be. Um, and just kind of to let you guys get to know me a little bit better. Um, And as you could tell, the background is where we'll kind of start. I'm an artist, um, or at least I like to call myself one. I think the rendering on this back room could be a little bit better, but that's okay. Um, it's a start. Uh, and I I love art. Art is one of the things that I've always loved. But so is content. And from what you guys know of me and what you've seen is I made this model, and I play The Sims 4, and that's it. But that's not all I want to do with this channel. I see a lot of Sims 4 YouTubers kind of only really make Sims 4 content, and that makes sense. That's a niche. It's a very consistent upload to a very specific audience, and as respectable as that is, that's just kind of not me. I I love a multitude of different kind of game types and game genres. I guess it's where I grew up watching content that I kind of have a fondness for any kind of game. Like I have played games from Stardew Valley all the way to Rainbow Six Siege, which are two very different environments with two very different kinds of people and two very different kinds of personalities, to be honest with you. But I guess we'll start with a lot of the nostalgia that I've kind of put in the background here. Um, and I will actually move myself over a little bit so you can see it. Behind me is essentially just a gaming console with PS5, Xbox, and a couple of games to go beside it. But above the bed, you can see a bunch of different plushies. I would say the plague doctor and the nurse are two very important kinds of plushies for me. Because I'm also getting my partner into content creation, and he's going to be using this background too. So I figured I would put a little bit of both of us into it. And we tend to like a lot of the same shit, so it worked out really well. Among those plushies, you can also see Baymax, because I love Big Hero 6. And you can see Spiffo, which is one of the first indications of one of my favorite games that I've ever played, Project Zomboid, which is a very different, not, I wouldn't say extremely different, but it's very different energy than The Sims 4. It has a lot of the same relaxing tones to it, until you're getting chased down by 100 zombies. And above that, you can see very faintly Dragon Script from Skyrim. Skyrim was a game that I really enjoyed playing on the Xbox 360. I will say though, I've never fully actually finished that game. You'll notice that that's a bit of a trend for me with video games going through this room. Um, because a lot of the story games that I absolutely adore, I either watched people play it because I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so I didn't really have access to the actual games, or I did have the game, and being the kind of person I am, I got sidetracked, like in Skyrim, with everything except for the main storyline. Um, I genuinely think in Skyrim, among the main storyline, I got as far as seeing the gray wizards on top of the mountain, and that's genuinely as far as I've gotten. Um, Infamous Second Son is a rare one of those story games that I actually played all the way through myself and finished. Um, and I love that game so much. It's one of my favorite games. You'll hear me say that a lot as well. I love video games, and I love all different kinds of games, and all of them are my favorite. But some hold special places, which is why they're in the background. Um, you'll see the Fireflies logo from The Last of Us. You'll see the graffiti from Life is Strange that's in Chloe's room. Um, you see the Slender Man pages on the side of the bookshelf, which is one of the first horror games I ever played. You'll see Bill's hat from Left 4 Dead, which is also, I guess, one of the few you could consider almost story games that I've played. There is a story there. Um, and you'll also see some things I don't really know a lot about. Like, you'll see Dante's Sword from Devil May Cry, a series I have never personally played, but it's one of my significant other's favorites, so I found it important enough. Um, and then you'll see Maximo's Sword beneath that, which is actually a story game I played when I was very, very little. I was a kid, and I think it's on PlayStation 2. I still have it. My partner got me a copy of it a while back ago. But it's one of those games that I find really nostalgic and really close, and it is one of my favorite games. Also, despite never finishing it, it gives me a lot of room for content where I haven't finished a lot of these games. Then beneath that, you'll see the Apple of Eden from Assassin's Creed, another one of my partner's favorite series. Um, and then beneath that, you'll see another interest of my partner's. It's the potions from BioShock that took me 6 hours to draw, and then I shrank them all down to where you can't see any of the details. Um, um, but at the very top, you'll see one of my partner's and I's favorite things, which is horror movies. Um, there is the entire Scream franchise. I assume even based off of the colors, a lot of people who are interested in horror might actually be able to recognize some of the VHS tapes despite them being so small. You can very noticeably see the Thing sticking out because it's blue. There is the Chucky franchise, not fully. I mainly put horror movies that I've fully watched and enjoyed. So it goes all the way up to, I believe, Child Play 3. And that's about as far as I got till I enjoyed it. And I think there's also Chucky's Bride, which is one of my favorites. You can see Alien, Halloween and Halloween 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was one of the first horror movies I ever saw as a child, mind you. Um, The Exorcist, The Shining. There's quite a bit up there. And then you can also see the Warhammer that I've placed in the background. If anybody knows Warhammer, there's a Space Marine helmet on top of the bookshelf. I do plan on putting more helmets up there, but I figured we are done enough with this room that I can actually start using it. Then we have a Servo skull, which I love. And then we have more horror masks. I actually have the Scream mask in my room, and as well as the microphone and the tumbler are actually things I own. My microphone actually looks like this. Aside from the arm, I think I changed to a higher quality one. um, but the microphone is literally the microphone I use in real life, as well as the tumbler. Um, and you'll also see the companion cube from Portal, also one of those story games I loved but never finished. And then you'll see another Left 4 Dead reference, and then you'll see one of my partner's all-time favorite series, I would say up there with Devil May Cry, is Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil hairspray that I call it. Um, Obviously, it's the health spray. And then something I actually made quite large in this room was the DBD boon, the Dead by Daylight boon. And that's because that is the game that my partner and I first started streaming together with. Um, Now, currently, I'm in a phase where I'm not streaming right now, and that's just due to both fear and also wanting to get my partner comfortable enough to start streaming again as well with me so we can do it together. Um, and it was the thing that brought us close and got us together, I would say, to a degree. Um, and then beneath me to my right here on your left is a Sea of Thieves chest, because that is also one of those just infinite playable games that I really enjoy. So there's a spattering of a lot of different niches that I enjoy, I guess. And um, I want to make content on all of it. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to get into fully next, like series wise. But the next video that I really want to create is about Ready or Not, a game that I had gotten into a few months ago and started playing with my friend Paul. Um, and it is a horrific game in such a beautiful way. The graphics are stunning, the environmental storytelling is stunning. Just the story of the game, despite how terrible it is, and despite how it made me feel. It was an amazing story to tell, and I think it's a very important story to tell about a lot of issues that are in the world and things that can actually happen. And I really want to do a deep dive into the lore and into the story and just how fucking awful everything made me feel. And it's one of the best gaming experiences I think I've ever had, immersion wise, at least. And I am still going to be posting Sims 4 videos, obviously. I do need to actually check on the health of my save file after the most recent Sims 4 update. So it might be a while before I post another Sims 4 video specifically because, well, the new update is breaking Sims 4 files, and I want to wait till that is kind of patched out or fixed fully until I even open The Sims 4 again, because I don't want to risk breaking anything that I have. Because I've simply worked too hard to have the motivation to fully redo it. And so The Sims 4 might need to be put down for a little bit, knowing that. As well as I can't even update my Windows right now because it's fucking breaking storage drivers. Jesus. There's a lot of like whack shit going on in the PC world right now. But yeah, that is just kind of me. That's just kind of everything. And I am really excited to get into some other things, but we may need to wait till I start streaming to get into some of the really long form content that I want to get into. I am going to have a separate channel for VODs, but overall, I am going to be like mildly editing a lot of them and putting them up here. But I kind of just need the motivation to actually make my partner's VTuber model, and I may actually record at the making of his and the making of his design and everything about that. But I guess I'll also get into the lore of this model because it's inspired by a lot. It's kind of inspired a lot from my doomer thoughts, actually, is a good way of putting it. And just it's inspired. It was inspired a long time ago. I thought of this character a long time ago. And she is a she's a bartender kind of by day nightish. And outside of that, her second personality, which is kind of partly the room we're in right now. There are other rooms involved, as you can see by the door leading out of this room. The world is kind of cyberpunk. That's where I got a lot of my inspiration from back when Cyberpunk came out for this model and the lore that I wanted her to have. Now, obviously, in stream, I'm still going to act like myself. And I'm not going to pretend to be anybody else, but Binks is kind of an OC of mine. And I've never really gotten her as a character, her design down correctly in a way that I really wanted her to look and how to be. Till I just decided to kind of say fuck it and go with it and just kind of put everything I love into a character. So I gave her makeup and a lot of blush, and I put her in a very alternative 2020 style, which is my favorite. I love everything about it. I love all the fishnets, the crop tops, the striped sweaters, the bracelets, the necklaces, the chains. The 2020 alternative style is genuinely one of my favorites, and I don't care if that's a hot take or not. I've been alternative since I was fucking 12, so I think I have a right to have an opinion about that. And then I gave her a lot of hair charms to kind of give her a little bit more color, because a lot of her color is just pink and black. And I know a lot of people are gonna look at me and be like, "Oh my god, Iron Mouse copy," but I don't care. I'm having a great time with her. And um, she does have a lot of other forms, and I do have a lot of toggleables for her. I'm not really going to show them off right now because I would really like to do a full model reveal when I'm actually streaming again and just kind of make an entire event about it and then post specifically about her model reveal when I'm comfortable. Um, but yeah, so the lore is that she I don't want to use this specific word cuz I'll definitely get demonetized for using it. Um but the entire lore of her world is there's the 1% and then there's kind of everybody else. Um and there it's a very classist society, and she owns a speakeasy that kind of undercovers over it kind of covers up an entirely different motive. um She is an anarchist. That's a good word of putting it. She eats the rich. And the whole reason why this model decided to start streaming was to kind of spread awareness on the classist society and um, talk about the rich versus the poor and get more people for her cause. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make this channel very political realistically, um, but that is specifically why Minx herself decided to start streaming and talking to people. Um, and that little heart logo that's on the door and the logo that's on the chest is the logo that she uses when she tags buildings, and kind of the logo she's known for is the heart, because I guess it's a very political point of view, but it's just kind of the love always wins. And um, her main weapon that she likes to use is a sniper rifle that it's so you know how there are those specific animes. I've never watched one specifically, but where a person can also transform into a weapon. That's kind of what it is. Except you notice on her skirt down here, she has these two little beads that are hanging down off the belt that have nothing attached to it. That is because that's where you guys are gonna go. Um, chat is going to be a little stuffed bunny that is hanging off of the belt that transforms into Minx's weapons. Um, she has, you guys can turn into a pistol, you can turn into a sniper rifle. Because I guess it also leans into the fact that I really enjoy FPS shooters. It's kind of combining a lot of the things I enjoy. Um, but yeah, this is me. And I guess the next video that's going to come out, I don't know when it'll come out because it took me a couple weeks to make this model. Um, Maybe I'll record a couple of different videos to kind of fill in that time gap. But the next like video I'm currently planning on working on is the video probably about my partner's VTuber model. Because I had made this model so quickly, and before I even started fully going, um, I'd made this model so fast that I didn't really even think about recording it. I gotta be honest, it was never really on my mind. I was just kind of going with the flow and going with what I had felt like doing at the time. And yeah, that's the next planned video. But if anything spontaneous comes up, I'll also probably record that too. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Make sure to take your medicine, drink your water, all that. And I will see you all in whatever video comes out next, because there's a lot on my brain and it's hard to get through it all. Bye bye.